It seems
At
as
least
if
lose the
the
league.
way
Lose the league first before you start telling us all your injuries.
I'm not losing
It's not like City is now his club. Trust me. City might still walk over Madrid gallantly.
Hello.
Romeo and Juliet. Havana.
The 419 evaluator that was giving us evaluation that was wrong. It's not like
Bandana to
National National collapse on your side.
It don't collapse from our side.
Bandana to collapse.
Bandana to collapse. Down on even the achievement of the league or the potential achievement that the WNBA can actually garner from.
We are talking about so.
It's just you cover me, Joe.
LMJ, who say farm oti? Why farm LMJ street face for like that? Say farm oti reap reward ni. Abi àwọn bandit. Táwọn bandit dé orí farm yìí ni.
LMJ, you're muted.
So sorry guys. I said there's reward. The farm is yielding produce. We got an airdrop yesterday that was worth at one point was worth $2,700. So is
That was what, how much? Could you speak up? Could you speak louder?
You got an airdrop that is worth how much?
I said we got an airdrop that was worth in the range of $2,700. I think it's like 2 now at the moment.
Don't let me act like I know what an airdrop is, please. What's an airdrop?
Okay, an airdrop is simply a way of a project distributing tokens, i.e., money, to specific people that probably did something or probably participated in an event. So like that.
What is the event?
LMJ, I think your mic is a bit far from you, LMJ. Could you speak louder, please?
I guess
this is much better.
Can you guys hear me now? Like,
yeah.
Yes.
All right. I said an airdrop is a way in which Web3 protocols distribute tokens or distribute assets to people that meet pre-selected criteria, either because they participated in something, either because they used their app or anything. Like, it can be anything. Like, the criteria can be anything. So that's what an airdrop is.
So wait, LMJ, that farming now, is it all about just dropping the tweets, or there's something else you guys do?
Okay, for that particular, like, there are different facets of it, but for that particular facet, we call it social fi. That is social finance. So this protocol are looking for a way to market themselves. So what they simply do is they invite users to constantly tweet, either by tagging them or by using these hashtags or $sign. So what happens is, within a selected period of time, they will now collect it. There's like a point system whereby, depending on how your tweet is able to get engagement, how your tweets, like just general exposure, quote points, views, like, retweet. So those activities will now give you points. Those points will now determine the number of tokens that they will give you. So it's called social fi. That's like one part of. It's just I've been very busy with some other things. That's why you've not even been seeing my tweet. So I'm trying to create content. I'm trying to move into the content part of Web3, like, so that I can now amass a community from that side. So there's a whole lot to it.
What seems to amaze me is that LMJ has a degree in mechanical engineering, and there's nothing business, crypto related, or NFT, anything that is digital that brings money that you cannot ask him about. LMJ, what are we going to convert into coins? I don't think you know where your engineering certificate is.
Funny enough, it's on this table. It's on this particular table. I keep it on this table every day.
I think the best place to start was the game this evening. Fortunately or unfortunately for me, I was in transit, so I couldn't really see the game. But LMJ, I heard that after a disastrous first half by you guys, you know what I like Man U? They have a way of playing in moments. All of a sudden, might just be gang. You know what? Let's start playing. Next thing I heard was you guys were leading 2-1 at some point, and the game ended 2-2. I guess for those that predicted you guys to be at the end of a whooping, they were mistaken.
Yeah, I think I said this last week that the only distinct part about United team is that they have no particular style and they play in the moment. Like they play the feature. So you can see in games against City that they were able to garner a draw. Like you can see those specific points in history where they only played the opposition, and then they now play a team like Brentford that would have 31 shots against them. In the first half, we had no shots, like absolutely no shots. No attempt at all. Because the attempt that went in was judged an offside. So statistically, it is not an attempt. So that is how terrible they were in the first half. Then in the first 10 minutes of the second half, also fortunate enough because Liverpool, the new centre back or the inexperienced centre back, as the case may be, made a blunder, passed the ball. Bruno stole it off him and chipped the keeper from I think 30 yards out, 30 or 40 yards out. So like it's not like there's a special style of football or that was played. Like there was nothing special that United did. They just simply played the moment. It is a derby game, as the case may be, and players needed to step up to the occasion, just the hype, the atmosphere in Old Trafford. So for me, it was a very unimpressive match because Liverpool could have killed off the game from the first half. Liverpool could have been 4-3 goals up in the first half. Salah missed a regular R2 placing that he would have just placed to the corner of the post. Like there was one that Diaz misplaced. Like in the first half, Liverpool could have just sealed the league in the first half. But as the case may be, I think it is more of Liverpool losing the league on this particular day because with I think less than 7 games to go, you can always trust a team like Man City to turn up, trash teams, rotate, play Madrid on Wednesday, then play Madrid the next Wednesday, and still come to trash teams in the Premier League. So, but in all of this, I feel like Arsenal is in pole position to take this trophy because it will be theirs to lose anyway. Because when you compare the running from here, Arsenal kind of have the easiest of features. So one would expect that they will be able to show more composure, show more maturity within the team, and finally do something about it this time around.
Bolish, we were having a conversation yesterday, at least in the midst of the terrible weekend we're having a conversation about the fact that Liverpool dropping points today would mean that if City by any way, like at the end of any Premier League weekend, if Man City find themselves at the top of the standings, maybe Arsenal sleep up or Liverpool sleep up, it's going to be difficult to see any of those other teams usurping them. Because after tonight's result now, like Arsenal and Arsenal at top of the table, City at third, Liverpool at second. But what element I failed to notice is that Arsenal have the toughest running. They still have to go to Old Trafford. They have to play Chelsea. They have to travel to White Hart Lane. So those are games that Arsenal could easily.
Don't forget Old Trafford. Okay, you said Old Trafford. Yeah,
I mentioned Old Trafford.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. It was a mismatch.
You mixed them up. Yeah. So I think Pep Guardiola is probably somewhere now, but he's smiling that there is a chance.
Yeah, because they've not really played well this season by their standards. Yes, they are just 1 point from the lead. Yes, they are no, but as at this point last season, the amount of points they scored was way more. That's one. Then the truth is, the way they play, the step for Arsenal to win this league is to make sure that from now to the end of the season, they don't find, because now everyone has played the same number of games. They are on top of the table. I think ahead of Liverpool by goal difference. The only way they have to maintain to win the league is for them to maintain what they have now. finish the season like this. Meaning, if you have to win every game, or if you have to pray that the weekend you are going to lose or draw, City also lose or draw. But if City should taste that top spot in any manner, form, shape after a weekend, I don't think they'll be coming off it. Like they just know how to play. I think if you go back even to the 2012 title, the fact that the way they came back for that 2012 title, the way they came back 2 years ago in the final game, the way they came back in the last game last year, that alone, if you go back to the Fergie era, one of the things that I used to bolster the squad is that we've done this thing so much, so many times, that we feel like it's our birthright to do it. So when you feel like that, and a large portion of doing well in football games is to have the belief that you can do it. And once you have that feeling that, yes, we've done this thing so much that we feel like it's our birthright, when it gets to that point where you're supposed to be tightening up or where you're supposed to play scared or you're supposed to be anxious, they are free, they are loose, they play some of their best games when they are even playing behind. So the best bet for Arsenal, and maybe I'm coming around for Arsenal to nick it. Best bet because they've actually in the whole among the three teams, they have been kind of the more impressive. So the best bet for them is to just make sure they knock everybody off in front of them, win as much as they can. Their defense has been solid, which is a good thing. Win all the games left and just seal the seal the league. Don't even expect any other team to do you a favor or any team to make the favor you need done has been done. You are currently pole position. Just win out and win the league.
I think it's easier said than done because this is a more mature team. Last season, I remember Bolly saying elephant on the tree. An elephant will soon fall off last season. This season, nobody is necessarily saying elephant.
They are not even posting elephant again. They've learned their lesson.
No, people are still posting elephant too. Kilovi. I still saw elephant post today.
Yeah, but this season, especially I saw the game yesterday against Brighton.
Yeah, okay, continue, Wale. Sorry.
I saw the game against Brighton yesterday, and I was like, defensively, top notch. Going forward, top notch. Players like Kai Havertz are finding they're picking at the right time, like they're finding their form at the right time. Okay, and the most impressive thing about Arsenal that you can say is that they are very solid. And unlike last season, whereby they were naive both defensively, this season it looks like going forward as a team, defending as a team. But those fixtures acting like, I don't think going to Old Trafford might be a problem. Like Elementary rightly mentioned, if Liverpool are taking their chances, maybe it's a different conversation today. But I feel like Spurs away, a rivalry game where Spurs are like, you know what, we have nothing to, we're not going to win the league, but you guys will not win the league too.
To be honest, like, I think the game against Man U is kind of very difficult than even Spurs, because Spurs that are shouting, I mean, we've won the league in their house before, so let them just keep short. That's one thing for a fact. So, no, but it's the truth, right? But, I mean, back to, like, the Brighton game, and I feel like it's not one of those games that I felt like, we actually played well. We did everything we needed to do, because I felt like early on in the game, the midfield was not like very cohesive. Like everyone were just doing what they wanted to do. And I mean, after like the penalty, then I think from there, things started kicking in and we got our rhythm back and we're able to like nick the rest of the 2 goals and all that. And going back to like the fixtures ahead, I mean, trust me, they are very tough ones. And I think the mentality that the whole team are going with right now is to take one game at a time. And I mean, with that mentality, you can only just think about what is in front of you and just worry less about the other games. I mean, you can't be bothered now about, we're in like a good position to win the league. That is the least. That should be the least of their worries. I mean, what they should worry about is the next game, and how to get everybody fit for the next game, because there are a couple of players out there that are actually playing with injuries. They're actually managing. There are some that are supposed to have done surgery, but they actually postponed it. like a whole lot of facts that has been going on that nobody, it's just people are just getting to know. Like Saliba still needs a surgery from what they said, but they said it's not dangerous. Like they can still manage him till the end of the season. Ben White has been playing with injury like for a while. We didn't even know since like what game week he has been playing, but he has been playing with injuries. Saka also is not. wait, what is Wally about to do? I'm not giving. Wait, I'm not giving an excuse. I'm just sort of like saying like, oh,
at least lose the league. Lose the league first before you start telling us all your injuries.
I'm not losing the league. I'm not saying that because there's a chance we lose the league because of that.
You are correctly top of the league.
Listen. Like my point, I'm driving at why I actually started all those points is to say like the mentality is actually different this year. Like if people can be like, you know what, I'm going to play through this injury, that means it means a whole lot to them, like than ever. So I'll give them that. But I mean, I'm hopeful. But then again, like you guys say, we are the only teams among the top three that actually have like the toughest runs of games. But like I said, this is like the time whereby the what's called in the history whereby the points are so close. And you can't even differentiate each team from one another based or except based on like their runs of games. And people have already been predicting that you know what they're not even looking at us as the favorites in a way. But like I said, we'll take it one game at a time. Hopefully, we come out.
I think I have to put you on the spot. It would be unfair not to put you on the spot. Do you genuinely believe you guys can win it?
I mean, yes. I'm a believer. What do you mean? We are all believers.
No. About us.
We are all believers now.
You guys can win it?
Yes. I believe that. I believe that.
I believe I can touch the sky.
We are not.
Oh my God.
We are not doing that, Polish.
I believe. I can fly.
Do you guys think you can win any trophy this
I
season?
believe I can fly.
Polish, do you guys believe you can win the league, any trophy this season?
See, this is not about Barcelona. Place your focus on. We won the league just how many months ago? So place your focus on. I get before I win before no be anything. No. Are you winning the present? Trust me, this is just 1 year ago. You have been saying the only reason why you would think you are better than Chelsea is because you won the league 20-something years ago. Don't let us start, please. Don't let us start. Just let us move on. We are on a good note.
Because we have other topics we need to touch up on.
Let's not start. Exactly.
Oh my God. Speaking of other topics, I still feel like the best way to continue is with you. The Champions League returns on Tuesday and Wednesday. And you guys are opening like you're hosting Bayern. I saw Bayern over the weekend against Heidenheim, and I'm like, if the proper Arsenal team thumbs up, like you guys should be able to get a victory over them.
Wait, can I ask you a question? What's the proper Arsenal team?
The one that I saw on Saturday.
Why can't you just say that?
No, I've seen the proper ones too.
Yeah. There's a proper fraction. There's proper fraction.
And there's mistake.
Pride goes before a fall. The poorest of the poorest and the poor of the poor. See, Wale, I hope you can hear Akina. I don't want to come and be here. I don't hear Saliba's bomb. One side of his bomb is not Kiriko. Oh, Gabriel's toe is dancing. I don't hear because if Bayern now everybody can see that Bayern is rubbish. They are 16 points behind. They've literally lost the league. Embarrassing season. Arsenal does not have any excuse.
For a moment, when they played that game, I was just hoping that they don't sack that guy right now. Like, I mean, because you know it can be tough playing a team that just gets like a caretaker coach. So I was like, please don't sack the guy just yet. Please,
don't sack him.
Don't sack him. Because I don't want to play a Bayern that is motivated when they get a caretaker coach. You know all those kind of teams like that
Yeah,
just-
new
Ginger
manager
just
bounce
come.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Roberto Di Matteo.
Di Matteo. You remember Barcelona?
That guy has not done anything in coaching since that year. Since he won that Champions League, he has not. His life useless.
And I'm wondering what exactly? How is it that they're like a national team kind of?
No,
coach
there's a natural juice like that flows into the team when they just sack the manager, and there's a caretaker, and the caretaker is someone that is with the guys before, that he has been in the backroom staff working with the guys.
Mhm.
There's usually, even in the NBA, you see new managers, they just go on like 6-game winning streak. Last, they'll come back and chop their cane, but they'll first go on that 5-6 game winning streak. So it happens like that.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to an interesting game. I mean, but it's very important that the Arsenal team actually get the what's it called? I mean, go ahead in this game, because I mean, you want to let's just take the full hold of the opportunity and just like be able to like come up with a good score line. At least that gives us like a cushion when we go to their house. I mean, so that's what I think. I think that will be saying to the players, because that's all we can actually hope for right now. Get a proper cushion.
I know that 2 weeks ago or thereabouts, you mentioned the fact that you believe you guys would win over 2 legs. Bolish didn't believe you. He's not a believer. Are you still a believer?
I'm a believer now. What do you mean? I just told you that I believe we'll win the league. I also believe we'll win Bayern Munich. I mean, yeah.
All right.
Wait, you guys are winning the double or what? Let me understand.
Calm down. Bolish, you know that meme of Michael Jackson.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Yeah. I don't. Okay, the Bayern Dortmund. I say Bayern Dortmund. The Atletico and Dortmund game is probably the most balanced game, so I probably wouldn't discuss about that. But LMJ, Real Madrid, Man City. A rematch of what we saw at the semifinals last season. Like City completely outclassed, outplayed, like absolutely dismantled them. But you're looking at it now, you're thinking, okay, we don't expect the same Real Madrid team to turn up, and the same City. Like City look like a different proponent entirely this year.
Yeah, I feel like last season there was a little bit of mismatch. Last season, though we all knew that Man City was miles apart from Real Madrid last season, but everybody kept talking about the Champions League mojo, like they are always good in the Champions League. Madrid will show quality in the Champions League, even though they were terrible in the league, and they made a very weak Barcelona walk away with the La Liga. So, but now
Olote International.
No,
Olote International.
Let me digress a little.
Very weak Barcelona.
We all agree that of all the Barcelona teams that has won the league, that's the weakest. Like, except if we are being sentimental. So I think we all agree to that.
That's not what you said. You said a very weak Barcelona. You don't say you not compare to the other Barcelona. It's a different ball game. You cannot say world class team, greatest of all time team. You are not saying you are comparing that team to it. It's not match up. How many teams match up to the previous Barcelona teams? There are very few teams in the history of football now.
There has been weaker teams. Okay, let me know.
I bet who is proud? Who is proud now? Look at Bolish. Look at Bolish doing this.
See, there's a team you support that you can be prideful like this, not elephant on top of the tree. I'm sorry.
Babe, pass me the remote there. Are you kidding me?
I think one misconception that people are having is the fact that people are thinking that City is not as good as they were. But the issue is, once a team wins or once a team achieves what Man City achieved last season, now the expectation is now higher. Like the expectation is greater. You now expect them to whitewash them. But you are forgetting that now their oppositions are preparing specially for them. Like their oppositions are now watching clips of their last triumph from the previous season. Like, if you see the City games, it's not like City is now his club. Trust me, City might still walk over Madrid gallantly, but I'm just hoping that due to the fact that expectation is the expectation and demand is now high on that team, it will sort of create a bit of balance in that game, because with Courtois out and he's just coming back from his ACL, I don't think he will feature in any of those games. I don't really think Lunin will be capable enough to stop this present Man City. If Haaland is not firing on all cylinder, guess what? Guardiola will bench him, and you have Foden. Last game, Foden didn't even come into the game from the bench. He didn't play at all. Like, it's so ridiculous, the basket of talents that Guardiola can just pick from, and he will still comfortably run through teams. So I wouldn't want people to underestimate or over expect a Man City, and in that light now start judging that game as a game that Madrid will easily walk through. I think Man City is going to edge Madrid in that particular feature.
Elemeji, I want to put you on the spot now, not for 2 legs, but for the first leg. Who do you think the first leg is going to be at the Bernabeu on Tuesday? Who do you think what result are you expecting?
I'm expecting a 2-1 in favor of Man City. A 2-1, they'll get the job done, and they will come back to England and finish it up.
That's right here. Go and place your salary. You have got this right here. Go and place your salary.
Where is Kunle when you need him? Like, at least you know what to bet on or bet against. Away from Madrid and Man City, PSG are hosting Barcelona on Wednesday, bullish. And if you're Xavi, you'll be telling yourself that get a good result in Paris, then the second leg, all bets are off in the second leg.
Yeah, and you need to also curtail the game, slow down the game, control the midfield, try to, limit their wing play, because you understand that Dembele and Mbappe are their most delicate or their most dangerous assets. So how can you control the midfield, and how can you limit the wing play? It's going to be a lot of tasks. It's going to be very difficult, but I think the problem Barcelona might have is who plays the pivot role. Christensen has been playing for some time now, and then Gundogan. Anytime Gundogan plays, Christensen has done well, but anytime Gundogan plays the pivot role alone, doesn't really do well. So I think Xavi might be forced to use Christensen in that role again, because he has been able to at least keep the midfield stable, because that's the number one problem we've been having all season. So I think we are primed, or we are in the kind of form or kind of space where we can get a good result in France. So
because now
probably
what we keep hearing,
a 2-2 draw.
What we keep hearing is you never can tell. Barcelona get past PSG, they have to play either Atletico or Dortmund. There's a path to the final, and we keep hearing stuff like Barcelona get to the final, Xavi might change his mind and decide to stay.
I don't think he will decide to stay, because it will look funny at that point. It will look like he did all that for like he's not a man of his word. He might leave and come back after a year, but I don't think he will stay this summer. It just feels like the way the fans, some sections of the fans treated him, and the fact that some of the people that were like his communicator in the upper room, a lot of them left at the beginning of the season. Number one thing he asked for a pivot. They didn't get anyone. They ended up bringing Romeo for free. He asked for a right back. Luckily, we were able to bring in Cancelo.
Romeo and Juliet. The guy's talk was high at the beginning of this season. Bonish was part of
it was a 419 evaluator that was giving us a valuation that was wrong. It's not like,
but in his defense,
who was your evaluator?
Wait. In his defense,
they asked me.
He said, Romeo. I mean by Romeo.
No. I do not argue.
Punishment. Aki, he said that Romeo is coming in to do his job and all those things, blah blah blah. Make
Which
it
job?
in Bolish's defense, if you guys watch, if you watch,
if I can't do my job,
if you watch Wataru Endo play for Liverpool, if you watch Wataru Endo play for Liverpool, you would think that Romeo should be able to do something simple, something similar.
he can't do it. Sorry to cut you. The mistake you make between both players is that, like, how old is Romeo again?
I think 31.
And Endo is out.
Endo is 30. Endo is not young either. He's 30.
But the physique helps Endo in the way. Like, if you look at it very well. I don't know.
Let me break it down.
Or the systems are different.
Exactly. And again, at the beginning of the season, yes, I was expecting the Romeo to be able to understand what is needed from him. And it felt like Romeo was doing too much. I think that's his main problem. If you watch Christensen in that role now, Christensen does the role as someone who is learning the role. Okay, I've not been a pivot before. Okay, let me watch some Busquets take. This is what Busquets does. Just stabilize the game. Don't try to be the AM. Don't try to be the 8. Don't know. And that's the problem Romeo was having. Romeo will take the ball. He's trying to dribble. No. Release the ball. There's a reason why there's Gundogan on the team, Frankie de Jong, and all these guys on the team. Don't try to replace what they do on the field. And that's the problem we're having with him.
So Romeo don't get sense like this, right? It's not.
Anyways, to round off the point I was making about Xavi. If you are going to bring Xavi, I think there has to be more, because the fans probably have to get a taste of their medicine, because one thing we have not realized is that we don't have budget yet. Until they finish the Camp Nou, we move into the Camp Nou and start printing money. Maybe 2 years time, Lamine Yamal is now a more bigger attraction, and then he's able to draw fans, and you sign another star player in 2 years time.
I disagree. You can't come at the fans like that. Number one, you guys are a big club. It's no longer an excuse.
What do you mean by it? I don't understand.
You guys are a big club for crying out loud. Listen, this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't blame.
No. Wait.
You can't blame the fans if they are expecting a whole lot more from the like.
No. There's a difference between being a big club and being realistic fans. And what I mean by that is that every single team that wants to compete.
You can't come out and explain to the fans that this is how our finances was a joke, or we did.
Are they blind?
What is are they blind? Is it the fans' fault?
And I know
fans' fault. Is it the fans?
You don't understand what I'm
big club. It should be happening to you guys. Mama give
I don't wait. I don't understand what you're even arguing with me now.
I'm arguing.
I don't understand
because you shouldn't be giving this excuse, man. You guys, Barcelona is a big club, and you are giving these fans this.
Is that not a big club?
No, this is not Barcelona. You said it. Wait,
no. Because I don't understand what your point is. That Barcelona is a big club. He won 2 titles last.
I have put fire in abolishing Andrew.
You are just trying to create controversy. It's good for the pod anyway, but I don't see the correlation between what you are saying and what I'm saying. Barcelona is a big team and we won 2 trophies last season. There are some teams that they've not won 2 trophies in like 15 years. Some teams don't even know what 2 trophies in a season look like again. I'm sure the last time Arsenal won 2 trophies, Aki does not know what is going on.
But
so that's what I'm saying. What exactly?
Just make your point.
What exactly is your point? So you cannot say you cannot expect that. Okay, we've not gone to the quarterfinal of the Champions League in more than 4 or 5 years now. So you cannot say we are a big club. You have to deliver, and then the first person that is trying to stabilize the club, you guys turned against him. I'm waiting to see the manager they will bring in and not spend and expect results, because at this point we are not spending and we say okay, we want results. Okay, it doesn't work that way. So it's not fly. So I think what will happen is Xavi would stay, he would leave, then probably come back in the year or 2 years time.
Away from Xavi and Barcelona, I don't know who wants to bet. LMJ, who's winning Atletico for the bettors out there? Atletico Dortmund, first leg. Straight win. Both teams to score under 2.5.
Yeah, I think I was saying it that Atletico was going to be dominant in that game, and somebody was like,
"Can you move closer to your mic?"
I said, I think I was saying something like that last week. Was it last week or upper week that Atletico was going to be dominant in that game, and the tagline was that Atletico don't dominate. I'm like, okay, I would be backing Atletico to win that game.
All right, you've heard
So
just our fans out.
just to round up that session, in case no matter what your salary is, go and borrow extra money and add to your salary. I don't care what your salary is. Go and play Atletico versus Dortmund over 8.5 over 8.5
I don't give financial
over
advice.
over
Anyway, I'm not
over over 8.5 corners. If you can get from Pampi, OP, Quick Credit, all of them combined together, go and play that game. Please don't at me.
Element's handle will be in the description. You can add him.
No be me talk am now. Like you heard from the horse's mouth, bullish.
Away from football. So before I even bounce to the NBA, Akin, I don't know if I know you're outside the country and stuff. I don't know if you know what's going on in the country, because for people like Bullish now that are in band A, they are going to be paying ×3 for electricity. And I saw NERC, they posted a flyer on Twitter and they were like, band D, minimum of 4 hours electricity. Band C, minimum of 6 hours. Band this. And I'm trying to imagine for people in the US, I don't know if you can show anybody in the US and they'll be like, what does this mean exactly? Like, what does the band mean? Because I don't think in a sane or a logical country, they'll be wondering, you are sharing lights by band?
To be honest, like I think I came across it and I was like, I didn't even quite get it at first, because I mean, one of the issues is that I don't think people, households are able to actually monitor what they use. Not a lot. When I mean by my statement is that not a lot of people actually have like a prepaid meter at their house. Not everybody. And one of the issues is also trying to get a prepaid meter, how long it actually takes to get a prepaid meter. Because I remember then when I was in Nigeria, with my parents actually, before we could get the first prepaid meter in our house, after 1 year, I mean, after we submitted, like there's this process around it. So when you are putting people in different bands based on like the electricity usage or something, I'm like, okay, what about those that don't have prepaid? How are they going to? Because I don't understand. How are they going to monitor it? How are they going to go about it? But
So
please. Yeah.
Just to add a context, if you're in Bandy, you'll probably get a prepaid meter in 2-3 weeks.
In 2-3 weeks. Oh, okay. That'll be good then. Okay. What about for the rest of the band? For the rest of the band,
I never know. I never realized.
How about if that is what they are trying to market? Like if they are selling, we don't know how much it's going to cost for those people that belongs to band. They want to get that. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
If you are in Band-Aid, so for example, what they do sometimes is that the cost of the meter, they will not charge you immediately. They'll bring the meter, fix it. Then let's say the meter is also like 70,000 or 80,000. Mm-hmm. Then you start offsetting it by paying. So when you buy units, so let's say you want to buy 5,000, you just see that the minimum is 20,000. So you buy 25,000. So that's your first installmental payment. So you can pay off. But to analyze like your cost in a month, from this breakdown, if you are using relatively low equipment and stuff in your house, you can go from 40,000 a month to about 120,000 a month.
Are you kidding me?
I think my argument, the reason why I'm asking you the question is, I'm sure over there in the US, I don't know whether they call prepaid meter or not. There are meters for everybody.
Are you joking?
But there's a metering system. There's a way you pay for your electricity bill, right?
Okay, so yeah. There's actually a way you pay for your electricity bills, right? And it's actually depending on how you use it. So you don't get your bill until you can. How do I put it? Like, it's based on what you use. It's the same thing actually. It's based on what you use. So what you use is what you'll be charged on in a way. So you can actually control how you use it. I think it's the same thing if it's prepaid generally.
That's my point exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like you can control how you use it. That means there's access to 24 hours electricity. So you can decide that I want to go and put off my light now at this point, right?
Yeah,
And
you can do that.
Put it on at this point.
Yes, you can do that.
So my point is, okay, go on.
Instead of like a meter, right? So it's like an app. You understand? So there's no meter. You can't even. There's no physical meter. You understand what I'm saying? You can't even see a meter. So all you just do is you look at the app. You get, so it's always listed like Monday to Fridays, like, or Monday to Saturdays, and you're able to see your average usage for a week, and you can in a way cap it and be like, okay, this is how I use it. Okay, these are for this particular day. This, if you can take like cognizance of what you used, you're able to like in a way switch off what you think is actually taking more kilowatt from your, or I mean adding to your kilowatt and stuff like that. So you can do all of these things in this app and just adjust. So it's like an app. The app is like the meter in this sense. Yeah, that kind of. So
because LMJ, my question is, instead of all these bands and drum or whatever it is that we're doing, or rock stars, whatever it is that we're doing, if you are providing people with 24 hours electricity, and for some weird reason, if they can't pay, if they can't afford it, they won't buy units. It's not difficult. Whereby, I can't afford to continue to pay this stuff. That means I'm not going to be able to buy the units. So why are we going to a point? Because I know the reason why I'm bringing this up is, I don't know if you remember, there was a particular episode where me, you, Bolish, and like were talking about cost of living, and we were like, Nigerians are wicked, blah, 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 and all those things. Now that Band A, most of the people on Band A are majorly factories. Aside maybe Magod, Bolish and Koda in Magodu. They're majorly factories. Friesland that produces peak milk, blah, 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 and what have you. If Friesland wake up tomorrow and they say...
Please, I stay in CMD, please. I don't know what he's talking about. Magodu. CMD. It's not Magodu. I don't have money of Magodu. It's CMD. Mark Obama.
For Friesland, people that produce like all these factories that produce milk and all what have you. If tomorrow morning they wake up and they're like, they've increased cost of electricity for us ×3. We're going to increase the cost of our goods to ×3, just to even up and just to catch up. And don't forget that these people also have to have backup source of electricity, because the same people shouting, we give them 20 to 24 hours lights. Don't give them that all the time. And it's a factory that is producing some things. So if at this point, cost of living is only going to go up, why are we engaging in this madness of ×3? If you want to increase cost, we're increasing it by 3.
I think it's quite hilarious for you to think that a country that has had 3 national grid collapse and we are still in April can provide 24 hours light. It is like, I find it very hilarious. Like, I'm like, Wale wants to turn Nigeria to Iowa. Like, wow. Man is turning us to Texas, man. He's taking us back in time. But I feel like the issue with most of the things we try to fix in Nigeria is the fact that we are trying to fly before we crawl. Like, I feel like before they start implementing all of these things, or before they start having this kind of conversations, there are some things that are supposed to be in place. Like, are we expanding the national grid? Is there a facility or an infrastructure that we can use to supplement the national grid that would mitigate this collapse? Like, for those of us that stay in the what would I call those in the middle of urban and rural? Let's just say, for those of us staying in the rural area, we have a pandemic whereby whenever rain falls, at least for 24 hours, we would not even see electricity at all. The last time I saw electricity was approximately 48 hours ago. So most people here, we always need a supplementary source of power. I had to install solar. A lot of my friends had to install solars because you need to work. Whatever light is coming from this particular direction is a solar light. Like, the grid has to be functional at the base level first before we have all of these conversations. And I feel like that is one of the problems we have as a nation, is the fact that we try to fly before we can even learn to crawl. So there are some conversations that we are not even ripe for as a nation. Like, if a nation like South Africa, I'm not trying to say South Africa is better than us, but if if a nation like South Africa is still doing load shedding on their electricity, whereby they have times that they know that there's not going to be light, you would practically see South Africans rushing. Why? Because there's not going to be network, there's not going to be electricity when it's maybe 12 or 1. I don't know the specific times. Like I've been privileged to meet a lot of them online, and they'll be like, you know what, I will have to be off for like next 3 hours because we are shedding. And they will be complaining for that 3 hours, and I'm like, what's in Nigeria? So it's the fact that we need to put some it's the fact that we need to put some infrastructures in place. We need to solve some of the basics before we even start to learn how to fly. Band A, band B, band C. Now, what band do you want to tell me? I've not seen like 48 hours. So what band are you fitting me to? And you're also putting me on the same tariff.
Band right.
Bandana.
So, bandana. So, I feel like like more often than not, that's the problem with this country, is the fact that we try to adopt systems that do not suit our environment, that do not suit us as an entity. Like, we need to fix the basics. We need to fix, like, I don't know how true it is. There are some issues that I even stopped researching. There are some people that will claim that we are supplying lights to Niger, we are supplying lights to Chad.
We actually do. It's actually true. Don't be
see, there's in no logical economical policy that should be happening when we are having national grid collapse. Like,
bandana
National grid don't collapse. National grid don't collapse on your side.
It don't collapse from our side.
bandana collapse.
Bandana collapse. The irony of it, as we're talking about he said, no, he made mention of this, that there's no economical sense to be actually supplying a country.
You know what they did? They showed you there. They never see me come.
I swear, they should make the headline.
That's not great.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria stay true to itself. You just like I don't think I need to say anything.
Your point is made. Your point is made.
Polish, as someone that falls into that category, I don't even know how to begin to deal with it now, because how do you go from 65 to 225? You didn't even branch at 130. You didn't stop at 150. You're like, yeah, 225 for them. And we don't even have, Nigerian Labour Congress does not exist. Because the minute I saw Nigerian Labour Congress protesting a few weeks back, and police was handing out pure water to them, take. I already knew that, yes, this one, now the real protest be this. Police is the one guiding you guys and what have you. Because on the norms, you would think maybe Labour Congress or the Labour laws will come out and protest, it's too much, blah, blah, blah. But it seems like we're just on our own. Whatever they say or whatever they do, we have to take it.
Because of their reaction to protest. So that's the thing. No natural people that want to protest would actually come out to protest because of their reaction to protest. Because they are violent to protest, they'll make propaganda out of it. Because they were the chief propagandists of protest when they were in the opposition. So they know how to spin the propaganda. They know how to make it become a violent stuff. They'll coin it to what it's not. But in terms of falling under, at this point, you, as crazy as it sounds, and as much as, it might sound like, it's because you have the money. Mind you, no one has the money. No one is prepared for that kind of thing. But you almost want to say that you kind of prefer to be suffering the triple increase than to exist in a place where 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, you don't have access to electricity. So that's the rationale. That's how you rationalize it. There's nothing you can say, there's nothing you can do. You just think about it and say, okay, before I was spending maybe my personal bill, I was spending maybe 20K in a month to go up to 60K. Okay. if I don't have access to this electricity, let's say they switch me back to band C or whatever, and then I have to go and start buying fuel, treating, recovery, fixing gen. That's the only way to rationalize it. Other than that, it's crazy, it's absurd, especially judging by how the economy is doing, how there's no money in the country, how everything is really messed up in terms of the direction the country is going to. So when you factor in all those things together, to now put in this kind of, you have already removed subsidy from petroleum, so we are buying 3 times the price immediately you came in. You remove subsidy from schools, so the students cannot afford, people that used to afford school fees for OAU, UI, Unilag, they cannot afford it again. The school fees is now 150,000, 200,000. Now, the subsidy that you did not remove, you left the subsidy for pilgrimage. You had money for that. Your budget that you just released is 15 billion to fix the vice president's residence, 10 billion to fix the Lagos residence, to fix the, like, it is clear what they are trying to do, and some of us were making the noise, even though maybe we didn't make noise enough. That if you look at this guy's administration and what he has done in the past, you don't want to be a victim of this guy's administration at the federal level. And I think we are all paying the price of not, deciding in one voice that it is way better for us not to engage this guy at all. Like, it is way better.
I swear it's crazy when you think about it. Let me just mention 2 days. At some point, I did 5 days. I can't even begin to explain. So help us God. The NBA is ongoing. The playoffs are here. The playing is going to start very soon. Playoff pictures are about to. The Western Conference is about to. But in terms of basketball, I think the best place to start is college basketball. March Madness it has been more than March Madness. It has been crazy. Like, it has been, obviously, Iowa didn't.
They just finished the Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa lost
South
to
Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, there's one point I just want to say about this whole, March Madness surrounding the women basketball, and I think I've been seeing a trend, and it's concerning the what's that word I would use for people that have actually played the game and retired. Please, you guys should help me out. Yeah, the veterans. Yeah, God bless you. The veterans, what they are saying about, I mean, I don't know, it's almost as if they are actually beefing these youngies, saying all sort of things about them, about how the reality is going to set in when they get into the league, when Caitlin Clark gets into the league.
The league, yeah.
And they are sort of like, they're making it sound like they are underplaying our achievements, and it's so unfair. Like, most of them are talking about, I mean, they are basically talking against her, or talking down on our achievements. And it's one thing I don't understand, and I don't really appreciate. I'm not related to her or anything, but you could sense that there's a
bit of jealousy.
Bit of envy. And I'm like, for a sport that, or for a sport that everyone are trying to, like, in a way, get everybody involved, like, how women's sports are overlooked or not. Sorry, they are not looked at all. And then yet you're having, overlooked. And yet these people, because that thing went around a whole lot in the news of how these veterans are actually talking down on these players because they having one deal on another that they didn't have maybe when they were in their shoes and stuff like that. I mean, where's the old women supporting women kind of thing? I don't understand. Like, it's so unfortunate to see, because you're talking down on someone like that when I don't understand. Like, so that's the only thing I don't quite agree with, like, over the course of, like, this March Madness. And I hope everyone changes that, like, perspective, and they stop, like, envying or being jealous about another lady's achievements. So it's something I just wanted to point out there. But yeah, like I said, South Carolina has actually won. I think we are looking forward now to the next game, which is Purdue versus what's it called? What's the other team that are playing for the men?
I think it's okay. Carolina are out.
Yeah, I think I'm talking about the men now this time around. I think
for the men it's Purdue and UConn, University of Connecticut.
That's another great game to look forward to. So and I think it's a final of the big of the centers, and yeah, it will be fun to see and see who actually eventually clicks the win and stuff like that.
I think if I'm going to buttress on Akin's points, the whole jealousy thing, I don't think is limited to like a ladies angle, because we've seen ex-NBA players talk bad about LeBron. Some people have made a living talking bad about LeBron for throughout their life. Do you get, like, we've seen ex-NBA players continue to shut down LeBron's achievements, blah blah blah. There's always going to be these veterans or this set of veterans that believe, oh, my time is better. Oh, you will need to do this to surpass. And in terms of even LeBron's own, what you hear sometimes is, oh, the guy won't say it's better than LeBron, no. He will tell you that another guy is who's better than LeBron James. And yeah, he won't say me I'm better than him. He will say this other guy that played to that time was better than him. And you'll be wondering, or people coming to tell you that, oh, LeBron is one of my top 5 players or top 10 players of all time. My grandfather, my grandmother, this guy.
It's so annoying. And you also go and to come to think about it, like let's be honest, and they go as far as saying like, oh, the defense was better back in the days, and people were like, okay, the defense was better, great, but another thing, nobody was shooting back in the days too. Like they didn't have Curry, they didn't have people that could even shoot the 3-pointers and stuff like that. So
and LeBron even played in an era where the defense was better.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I just want to make a final point. And the final point to this is that they fail to realize that as we humans evolve, same with sports too. Sports evolve. Like you don't expect sports to be the same way. It's not possible. They need to realize that, like, okay, now people are going to pick up the pieces and be like, okay, improve on. So where's the hatred coming from? I mean, where's it? I don't understand, man.
And speaking of the video you mentioned, I think that was Diana Taurasi and Subed speaking. And Subed is actually retired, for those that don't know. And Taurasi is still playing at the age of, I think, 39 or 40. She's regarded as the GOAT. What she has done in WNBA, Taurasi is that dope. But a comment about Caitlin Clark,
was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary, and it wasn't
unnecessary.
Surprising. But,
Bright,
what annoys me the most is, for years, the women's game has needed some sort of lift, some sort of push, whereby some sort of we need to pull people's attention to the game. Like we need to bring people's attention to the WNBA. Like the players coming into the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers, what's her name, Angel Reese, they are making more money from endorsements than the average salary of the WNBA. So these ladies have brought attention to the college game, and you'll be thinking, like, you'll be hoping that shouldn't the veterans be happy to have them, that okay, they will bring the attention, the fan base, because for Ice Cube to decide that he's going to pay Caitlin Clark $5 million to come and play in the Big Three, she has that kind of followership, she has that kind of following. You would expect the veterans to be like, okay, we need to leverage on our following so that the WNBA can also grow massively. There's a lot of attention on the women's college basketball game. We need to leverage on that. Why is it a case of, she needs to go and fetch water in the well first so before she can get to certain points?
I think it's short-sightedness and bad leadership of the league. Because even when there's beef in the men's sports too, there is like boundaries, like unspoken rules. There are these unspoken boundary rules. Like, okay, when you hate this guy, you don't talk down on whatever it is that can hamper the revenue that we are trying to make here. You would always see that the NBA is always striving to level up with the NFL, with the Major League Baseball. Like, to them, the competition is not internal. The competition is external. I think until the WNBA starts seeing that the competition should not be internal, in the sense that, yes, during your own time, the money was not there. It happens in all sports. Like a scrub like Jesse Lingard, the money is making in whatever league he is. There are some greats that never made it. Sir Bobby Charlton never made half of it. You get, like, it is just the fact that the era is different, the attention in sports is different, and obviously the money would flow in. So I feel like they're just doing themselves a big disservice in the sense that you can leverage on a positive publicity. I'll bring the UFC. I know many of us are not a fan of Dana White, but I'll bring a little Dana White story. One of the reasons why Dana White started the UFC, he talks about it a lot, was because of the negative publicity that boxing was creating sometimes. He mentioned a particular fight where Mike Tyson was coming in, and instead of the commentator to be saying good things about him, the commentator was talking down on him, like he just came back from prison, he's not good enough. Like, it was like, this is BS. Like, this is who brings attention to this sport. You should be worshiping him. Like, you should be hyping his praise, because that is the one that does the major work that feeds everybody. And I think that is another major mistake that the WNBAs are making. These little girls will be the one to bring food to your table, because if the attention is not there, broadcasting networks would not pay you the big buck, because they are still trying to also. They are all still trying to also on YouTube.
Sorry for cutting you, but Bright, you make a very good point. I swear to God, you make a very good point. They did it like a recap of like the viewership of like the game between Iowa and LSU in history. I think about 40 million viewers actually watched that game because of just two people, Caitlin Clark and injuries. And this is yeah.
WNBA has yet.
Do you know? Should I not shock you? Around that same time, there was an NBA game going on, and nobody was watching that. Nobody were paying attention to that. And they said this is the first time that you have the venue filled up to the max, like because of those two people. So I don't get why veterans would be mad over like something that has never. If you step out and just look at the whole thing from a bigger landscape and see that, okay, now think just for the sport, for the sake of the sport, or for the sake of the league, you would understand like, okay, you would appreciate how far this has gone, and it's only going to get better from there. But yet you're playing down on people's achievement, playing down on even the achievement of the league, or the potential like achievement that the WNBA can actually garner from this attention. They fail to see the bigger picture, and that's what's so annoying to me.
Like I've said, and I'll reiterate again, it is just short-sightedness and bad leadership. Because if they do have a good leadership in the WNBA, somebody would have called them to other guys. The figures we are seeing is something that can benefit everybody. Like, you don't even need to be directly affiliated with the WNBA to benefit from it. If you have a YouTube channel, like
exactly, God bless. If you have a YouTube channel and some of them are even picking up like host jobs, you know what it means? Meaning like many TVs would want to cover it more, so more jobs for people, because they will need females to sit as the host. That's what it means. And who's the best option to actually sit and host those TV those programs? It'll be the veterans too. So why are they hating?
You have a full panel of something like Sports Center where we're just talking WNBA. You should have a morning show for just basically WNBA. Like, for me, I think it's just short-sightedness and lack of leadership. It's the fact that they don't see the full picture. And I will not force them. Why? It is normal. Like, this kind of thing is normal. Like, we do it in the NBA too. You'll be like, we are done with the 90s. Like, about 90s now. Like, it is normal. But there is a level that it has to be checked, that it will not become too toxic and send brands away from your brand. Because no brand wants to be affiliated to something that is too toxic to that level, because it will not actually sell.
Aki mentioned something about podcasts and shows and stuff like that. The NFL has the highest number of podcasts and shows on YouTube because of how big it is. And it's an avenue for people to make money from streamings and stuff like that. I just hope, like Elemeje mentioned, they can see beyond the immediate and look at like, you can play the long game. I'm not going to sit here and disrespect Diana Taurasi. There's a reason why they call her the GOAT. She has invested so much into the growth of the WNBA. And like you guys have mentioned as well, it's normal for envy to want to come in like, okay, the work we have done, people are going to, whether she likes it or not, she needs to accept that the work she has done is for those that are coming after her, not for her. So she needs to be able to move beyond that and say like, okay, those that are coming after me will benefit from whatever it is I've done on the ground. So trying to say, oh, Caitlin Clark needs to win a championship, or if she comes to the WNBA, it's going to be difficult or tougher. Yes, it's going to be tougher. You're playing against professionals that are trying to earn a living. But at this point, I don't think you should downplay our achievements just to try and make yourself feel better. I'm afraid that's all we can take for tonight. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. We've had all kinds of technical difficulties. Akin has gone off and on. I think we're even interrupting Akin's weekend. Like, he has other plans. So
waiting on it all.
But he has other plans. LMJ, Bolish is asking us what she achieved. Anyway, Bolish achieved popularity. We'll discuss this better next week.
That's it. Darcy don't win any championship. That's true. To our listeners, no, Diana Taurasi is a WNBA champion. Oh, really? Is she?
Please don't make a mistake.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
There's a reason why they call her the go-to.
Sorry, guys. My apologies. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so please, we'll dive into this next week. I'm much better. For what is worth, to our listeners out there, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You can find the audio versions of our podcasts wherever you get your podcasts: Google Pod, Apple Pod, Spotify, even the Anchor website as well. And you can see us on YouTube as well. Like, our full episodes are on YouTube, our snippets on Instagram, Twitter. Don't forget to follow, like, share, and drop comments too. We're open to your comments. We're open to improving, and whatever it is you guys would like us to dive into and talk about, please mention. And if you think we're talking rubbish, mention it as well. LMJ, thank you so much for being here. Akin,
all right, guys.
Keep interrupting.
Thank you, guys.
It happens. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys.
All right, guys.
Enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your